Alright, so here's the problem with Game Lab's idea of their economy, how it's going to work. And what they're doing is they're making rare woods drop in certain shops. Now, I'll show you. African teak, alabaster rocks. I have a buy order in there, so do 5 other people. San Juan. I don't have a buy order in San Juan, don't own it, but I'm sure 5 other people do too. Higway. Now, as you can see, blue eye, 3 other people bidding more. They want 210, bidding more. The only other way to get that is through the clan resource missions that they drop. See this clan resource, African teak. Oh, CFS owns that. Oh, well. And, oh yes. CFS diplomats and clan creator are the only people who can pull that. So it's not like a member can go and shovel in his doubloons and pull out African teak and go sell it on the market for 2,500 reals a log and actually make money. No, no, no. This is a strategic resource. It must be carefully hoarded and cultivated for the betterment of CFS's fleet. Yeah. So the whole idea that these rare guns and rare woods were going to become more accessible, no, didn't happen. Didn't happen one bit. So Game Lab's idea sounded good when it came out. Gave me some hope. I've never had a Navy gunship, and I thought, well, great. Members are good because the clan resource mission used to be any member in the clan or that nation could pull that mission. But that's not how they altered it so that now only diplomats and clan creators, you know, people who generally can pull money from the clan warehouse anyway, from the tax revenue of, say, alright, CFS controls Gibraltar, 2.9 million reals. That goes directly into their clan warehouse. And the diplomats and the clan creator can just take any money they want. They don't need to sell that highly valuable, much sought after rare woods. So, you know, Royal, same deal. Anyone who controls these, they're pulling them out for their ships, not for other people in the game, not for other people in their nation. If you can get in good with somebody, then maybe you can get a get something. But it's by no means is it going to be consistent, and you've really got to work the Discord channels and the back channels, and it's just sad that a computer game developer didn't think about this. And so they made this rather ridiculous economy where I gotta grind multiple hours a day to get the reals. Then I have to grind for the dubs. Then I have to work back channels in Discords to find someone who will give me permits or guns or woods just so that I can build a ship. Yeah, okay. Somebody doesn't understand economics and principles of economics. So it's really making this game unpleasant and aggravating and ridiculous. It's pointless. I'm at the point where I need to get into first rate so that I can go to port battles and screen for people and not be in my third rate DLC that just gets mulched by the first rate that shoots at it. But no, I can't do that because it is so hard to actually get a permit. They're not for sale in La Tortue. They are for sale in Mortimertown. There's 2 people with Santissima permits, or a Santi and a Lotion permit. They want 8 million reals for it. So to contrast that, you will spend if you can buy the wood at 2,000 reals a log, you can build a rare wood Laoshin or Santissima for about 6 million reals. But the permits are just so rare that it's worth 8 million reals. I don't know about you, but I can't afford to replace a 14 million real, and that doesn't count the guns or the upgrades. So counting those, I can't go around replacing an 18 million real first rate every day. I can't even do that every other day. I can't do that every other week. So this economy is just ridiculous. And Game Labs, you gotta fix it because this is so silly. You thought you had a good idea. You always do. You don't have enough players in this game for ideas like this to actually work. And yes, I have been grinding, attacking solos and attacking fleets and trying to get permits. It is so hit and miss. Maybe 1 out of 10, 1 out of 12 battles you'll get a permit, maybe. And no, it doesn't work. So the rest of the season, I guess I'm going to be consigned to sailing around in my DLC Redoubtable because I can't go any further. I can't get into the high-end. There's a port battle at Azua, and they're all taking crafted first rates. Even if I were to spend all the reals I had and get a crafted first rate, if it gets sunk there, I can't do anything else. So this economy is a lockout economy. One way or the other, you're going to be locked out of content. And that's a pretty sad thing in a computer game. As you've designed something where players, regardless of skill level or experience, I have over 8,000 hours, but you are going to be locked out because you are not one of the special people who work for the special clan that get the tax revenue and get handed tax revenue. See, that's the thing. Even if you're in CFS or you're in Woods or you're in these special clans that get tax revenue, you still have to be one of the guys that get handed money. Not sure how it works. Personally, I detest the idea of having to rely on other people to get my stuff. I enjoy being self-reliant, self-sufficient. I enjoy being able to craft my own stuff because honestly, what happened, I've taken stuff to a crafter, handed him the stuff, and he crafted it and said, okay, crafted it. And then went, oh, wait. Minute went by, 2 minutes went by, and then he said, oh, here it is. And so what happens, and I've corroborated this with other players who, he crafted a purple or gold ship and decided that, well, he was going to craft you another ship and hand that one to you, the blue one, because inevitably the next one's going to be blue, and you just get that one. You won't get the purple or gold. And that's why I craft my own ships, is because there are crafters in this game that will craft a gold ship or a purple ship using your materials, your permits, and then when it comes out purple or gold, they craft another one really fast and give that one to you. And they keep your gold and purple ship. Which is one reason why whenever I craft, I'm always streaming in Discord, and they get to see the ship that I craft for them. It's just transparent, honest, but the player base in this game will do that. So that's why this whole idea of you're going to have to join a bigger alliance and you're going to have to rely on other people. No, that doesn't work. Sweet idea, but you don't have enough players to where people are actually honest and kept honest by the fact that if they aren't honest, they'll lose players. And no, people have to be in CFS. Whether they want to or not, they have to be in CFS or Karma or one of the special clans that have revenue and have access to these things. Otherwise, they can't play their game. They're locked out. No one wants to be locked out of a game. But, hey, apparently it's okay for a whole class of people, looking at GB, to be locked out of playing the game. Okay, Game Labs. And you wonder why your population is declining? Really? It's hard to figure out? Okay. Well, when you figure it out, I'm sure you'll break the game again. Okay, so
How do I spell it?
certain of my subscribers, commenters want me to actually propose positive ideas of how to change this game. You know, what can Game Labs do better? So I'll give it a stab. I've got lots of ideas. Here's a few of them. Number 1, this clan delivery mission needs to be opened up to everybody, either in the clan or in that nation. And that way these Santisima permits start proliferating throughout the game. And because there's, people who want to drive Santisima permit and make money, the price of the Santisima permit will inevitably drop down to where it's supposed to. Now, what is the value of this Santisima permit? We already see it. 10,000 doubloons. Okay, but what's the real value? Well, guess what? We already have that. Look at this. You can sell doubloons for 54 reals a doubloon. That's what the shop will buy it for. Now, here's another value. You can buy it, doubloons, for 275. So, one of those numbers will give you the price of a Santisima permit. And it's not going to be 8 million reals, which is ridiculous. But, currently, since only 4 or 5 people can pull out one of these a day, then, yeah, and there's only 5 ports in this game. I'm on the war server, by the way. There's only 5 ports in this game that can pull out these permits. That means 5 Santisima permits a day. That is ridiculous. Now, here's a problem, though. I don't like these 5 ports have these resources. I am okay with ports having unique resources, but I'm not okay with certain ports having stuff and certain ports having nothing. Old Providence, nothing. Georgetown, nothing. Oh, Chinchorro's got 24-pound Bloomfields. I'm not okay with this stuff being all over the place, because right now CFS is running around trying to hog ports, good ports. Of course, I mean, look here. Prussia and Denmark, these are the clans that actually have 5 to 6 players on this server that can do this. They control the gun ports, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with ports being crucial to playing the game. Or important? Yes. Crucial? No. Because that means that if you don't have that port, you just don't get to play the game. That is bad programming. So, my idea is, along with having a Santisima permit here, we should also have a second-rate permit here, a third-rate permit here, fourth-rate permit here, fifth-rate, and on down. Every port should have a certain class of permits. Because frankly, this whole grinding for permits in the open world doesn't really work. You don't have enough players. Your permit drop rate isn't high enough. It's just not working. And here's another thing. Guns. The rare guns. Same thing. The woods. Same thing. So maybe we need to have... these ports have line ships. This area of ports is going to have... a better example. These ports are going to have some permits for shallow water. And guns for it. So we got a surprise permit here. Great. Let's also have a Niagara permit. And let's also have some 12-pound abusers or 32-pound abusers up there. Okay? Because the shallow water. But no, if you want the 32-pound abusers, you got to take that port. Okay, now, this area is shallow water. This area needs to be the area where new players learn how to port fight. Because a rare wood shallow water ship is 500,000 reals. And new players can do that. They can get that money up fairly regularly. Okay? They can go, lose their ship, then probably in a day or so have another rare wood ship for the next port battle back. So, these ports need to have an ecosystem where all the shallow water stuff is. All the shallow water ships. One thing you will notice on this map is if you click every single port, you will find that there is no port that drops Christian permits. Don't know why, but I think it's ridiculous that entire nations get to hog entire class of ships. On the free-to-play server, CFS has all the Santissimas and some of the Laotian permits ports. The pirates are mainly fighting in Laotians because, hey, that's all they can get. That's ridiculous. To tell someone who played this game for 4 years, loving Santissimas, and then throw them on this brand new free-to-play server and say, well, because we had this great idea, you can't drive the Santissima, which you love. You gotta drive the Laotian, which you hate. And, sorry, but that's enough to make a player just say, no, I'll go play some other game. I don't want to drive that ship. I hate that ship. I want to drive my Santissima. Game Labs, when you tell a player how to play their game, they tell you, goodbye. We have 27 online on the war server. I mean, all you've done, Game Labs, is manage to kill your enthusiasm for this game. You managed to get a lot of people upset so that they leave. You need to think about that, because you haven't reversed that trend in 4 years. Yes, you've managed to spike interest with your updates and your DLCs, but that disappears within a month. Every time. And that's not healthy. So, alright, next idea. Every nation needs a revenue system. Okay? Right now, you collect trade goods here. They all go over to here or up here. Okay? The major trade good items go to Puerto Rico or the Bahama ports up here. So, right now that means, oh, and then you have tobacco in 3 ports in the world, which is ridiculous too. Every port should consume tobacco, because every port did. Every port should consume and produce line ship items. because they did. Or every region should produce line ship items. And permits. Balance the game, in other words. Make it so everybody can compete. Yes, you can have certain regions having certain combinations of permits and rare woods, and that way people are warring back and forth for it. But you also need traders to come to these ports, pick up these African teak stuff, and transport them to Bone Cay and Mysteriosa and drop them off in shops at random. Something like that. Or make it so players can invest in SMs so that they can invest in rare wood plantations and rare gun forges. I mean, there's a lot of players there. Their NSMs are just stacking up because they don't have anything to spend them on. And, well, but speaking of things, what's a victory mark for? Really? I mean, I got 199 NSMs, nothing to spend on. Now, that does mean you are going to have to fix this limitation. Stupid little limitation that I can only have 15 buildings. Of course, you know, you give me rare wood plantations, I'll get rid of the Sabiku, which is, and the teak, which is sad, but you know, that's another thing you need to fix. You do not have the player base to do this fetch and carry game of run around to every single port and hope you get something in the shop. That's ridiculous. Now, maybe that's how you make ports valuable. Certain ports will allow you to install certain forests, which would be considerably more fair and economical, so that every person in that nation could go into that port and install a African teak forest. Now, here's my problem. You get 210 a day, so at 210 a day of rare wood, find the Laotian. Let's say we do Danzig. Hello. African oak, Danzig oak. Alright, at 210 a day, you're going to have quite a long time to replace your first rate, which can die in 30 minutes. So it'll only take you 7 or 8 days to get all the frame wood, and 4 or 5 days for all the planking wood at current production levels. So, not sure what the idea is, but this whole starvation economy and brutal economy is really lame. Anyway, there's ideas. Fix the game, or watch the numbers plummet. This is mostly harmless entertainment. Out.